Hey guys, welcome back to another Foundry Reviews. Today I am joined with John and we are going to be reviewing The Substance, a very interesting take on horror. John, how are we doing today?
Doing really well. I'm really excited to be talking about this movie. We've kind of been slacking with some of our horror reviews, but been trying to make up for it. And yeah, we're back with another one. Hopefully, this will be getting uploaded on a nice spooky Saturday for you guys. But yeah, Kylo and I are here together. I convinced him to check out this movie called The Substance, body horror movie. That's all I really knew about it, and I thought the premise was just a really interesting take that hasn't I don't think it's been done too many times, with just the whole premise of just kind of balancing life. It's there's so many dual messages in this movie. A lot of them are pretty nail in the head, but like a lot of them are also really subtle and nice and interesting and stuff, but has made me think quite a bit as well. But also, like, towards the end of the film, it just becomes a ridiculously hilarious, like, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, kind of like funny
Body
horror.
horror,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of fucked up body horror like in there earlier and stuff. Are we? I forget we do this with most of our reviews. Do we want to talk about it non-spoilery and then go to the spoilers at some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so right now, yeah, you guys are completely fine and non-spoiler territory. So we will announce at some point that spoilers will be like, we'll announce when the spoilers are going to take
Coming.
place. So yeah, you can fuck off and whatnot. But yeah, this film is just the way the cinematography was really clean and fresh and kind of like cold and obtuse in certain ways, and it let you knew the main characters were alone with their own thoughts, which could have been very detrimental to them just kind of going insane and their obsession. There's just a lot of really good themes with it. It's just like obsession is definitely one of them, and I really enjoy it. It's about this girl who is like pretty much at the end of her life cycle. That's what the main thing is about. It's about how Hollywood uses and abuses like people to where, like, once you come past your prime, you're kind of thrown away and disregarded, and that's exactly what happens to this person. And they are very desperate to not be forgotten, and they want to be able to continue their career by doing something so gross to where they kind of end up destroying themselves willingly. And it's a very awful. It's hard to watch at certain points. I was kind of like cringing at some points. I was just kind of like, ugh.
It took me like 3 tries just to actually like get through the whole movie, but there was never like a calm moment in there. Every moment was tense and in your face.
Yeah, very tense. Yeah, you're right. That's a very good descriptor there. It was very tense, awkward. The cuts between like the scene transitions are so like abrupt and they're kind of spooky, and it's like almost without thinking, and it makes you think that these characters are doing these actions like just at the whim, like they're just doing it so fast without thinking of any consequences. And that's how it felt. Like, you just felt their intensity, just because their obsession was just leading them there. It's a very good movie, but I was a little, I felt the ending was kind of fell flat a little bit. I did not expect it to end it that way whatsoever. But as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I was laughing at the end. I was up like probably 20 hours at that point, but I was laughing. I thought it was hilarious. I thought the ending was so funny. And do you want to talk about Demi Moore's
Yeah,
fake
like
tits?
I said, well, both of them had very, very. This is kind of spoiler, but I'm only gonna dive a little. But they both had wonderful boobs in my opinion. I was a huge fan.
I
That's
think
the one thing that kind of kept my attention going at some points.
I
But
think Demi
like I
Moore
said, it took me 3 tries to actually like get through the beginning,
Demi Moore, she
just because it was
doesn't
so like I said,
she
sorry.
she's that was her chest was completely like prosthetics. That was makeup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Huh. Those are some wonderful fake tits.
Yeah, why so difficult in the beginning? Just like the body horror or what?
Well, no, like without spoiling anything, like just her life whenever it was like you said, depicting like Hollywood and how like people get like cast out and whatnot. I found it kind of boring. Like, it really got like my attention, I would say, like midway through, whenever like shit was like constantly tense. Like, the beginning was like a little tense, and kind of calming, like just normal everyday life. But once it got like really caught my attention, I actually like sat down and watched it thoroughly. I can't really say why it couldn't keep my attention. Like I thought it was just gonna be like another like boring horror movie, like where nothing made sense, and like I'd always like shut it off or pass out, watch it. But I'm glad I did actually like get through it. Like you said, the ending was kind of very goofy. I did enjoy that, but like the middle stuff was really cool, very interesting.
Yeah, there's tons of like references to older horror films, which is really awesome. I think like the core one is the Reanimator, which is like perfect because it has like such a spooky dark green like serum, like called the activator, which like itself is the substance, you know, which is like something that is very like important in that film called the Reanimator. But there's also
I continuously joked with myself saying it was like Bane.
saying that what?
I continuously like joked with myself calling that stuff Bane venom.
That's pretty good. There's references also to like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, a lot of The Shining, and a lot of influence from just kind of 2001 Space Odyssey, of it just feeling so cold and calculated and just like empty and just frigid and cold, you know, which it's just a way that people in the more modern horror movies, they depict like celebrities. Like a lot of that was took place in The Smile 2, which is kind of interesting just to show you how cold and alone that they felt. But it's a lot of horror, like just kind of callbacks and throwbacks in that too. So that was pretty interesting, and a lot of it was kind of minor. Just
I kind of got
kind of what?
I kind of got some like The Thing references from in there too, like mainly towards, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Definitely The Thing. Even just like nothing gross, just like the way the characters were presenting themselves, like even like doing their daily tasks, like being like major depressed and stuff like that. I was still like, that's fucking gross, you know? Like I was actually had to stand up like towards the end of the movie, just kind of pace a little bit, just because I was like, this is fucking gross, you know? I was just kind of like, damn, you know, I could not sit still and just kind of watch there. I was actually surprised that I couldn't, but it did a great job of that. But I really enjoyed it. If you like body horror and you kind of like your comedy and your horror movie, some people don't really get that, but I think that's always really important to drop a movie that can add a bit of laughs to the horror. You know, kind of like Evil Dead Rise, probably a really good one that I saw recently. Fuck, we never reviewed that, but I'm ready for spoiler territory. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, if you guys don't want to get spoiled or anything, I go to click off the video, just in case. But yeah, highly recommend it if you're into that kind of stuff. I think that it was mentioned at the Oscars as well for Demi Moore's performance, which like totally viable, nice, because like she did a great job. Also, Dennis Quaid was fucking gross. He was disgusting. The big like headshot like CEO guy.
Yeah, he was. That was probably one of the reasons why I kind of like walked away a couple of times.
You're like, I'm never eating prawns or shrimp ever again. Which I'm
never have, but never gonna.
Yeah, after that, it's very gross. All right, here we go. Spoiler territory. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Man, that fucking ending. The amount of blood.
It, like you said, the Shining reference, it was very comical. I loved how like she was kind of just like dancing, spinning, and just blood going everywhere, like an absurd amount of fucking blood. It was great.
Yeah, just for no reason too, just for no fucking reason. Which is it was very funny how she ended up.
I guess you could say she was like painting the town on a whole different level.
Yeah. There's one thing that I really enjoyed. It was like the contrast of everything. Like there's they show the mitosis of like you are one but just like split in two kind of thing, where it's like showing the mitosis of like they cloned the duplicate of the cell type of shit, you know? So it's really interesting to see like the two eggs drop down at the same time or anything like that, you know? Like, I really enjoy some of those like film similarities, but the biggest like theme that I picked up on that it's really cool to see, like, typically when you have a younger girl or maybe even just an actress, is that someone who's so obsessed with their personal image that they don't focus on the bigger things. Like they do things for their peer evaluation. They do things for others, you know, instead of for themselves. But like when Demi Moore, her character, like, is in her, what, 50? I think she just turned 50. I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie she turned 50, which actually she's actually 60 in real life, which is insane. She looks fucking stunning for 60. Um,
Mhm.
so she's so insanely obsessed with her just declining like image of herself. You know, she like kind of just hates herself because of her fading looks and beauty, and that's what she constantly obsesses over throughout the entire film. And when she switches to Sue, like the counterpart of the younger counterpart of herself, she's like career driven, and she only focuses on like the big things of like her future, you know, when in reality it's like younger girls are more consumed with like with their own vanity, when it's like the opposite. So like Sue gets angry at Elizabeth for like, oh, all you do is waste yourself away playing video games and watching TV. You're just wasting your life, you know? And that's what older people tend to do, thinking on their younger self. They think like, I did nothing but play video games and waste my life away, you know? That's what older people do when they talk about their younger selves. So it's a really interesting like kind of switch up how they kind of change everything on you. I think it's just really fucking fun like that. I think it's really interesting. Just showed like the vast differences of how you could appreciate life. And it's fun and funny. It's like, hey, you got a whole new life, a whole new do-over. And what does she do? The exact same fucking thing. She's
literally
like,
just like, I'm sure she was like career driven, but like you can obviously like see like her older self, like in her younger years, was more like you said, built off of vanity. But it was interesting seeing her take like her mindset into like a young body and actually just be career driven.
yeah, and it's like, she's like, I'm not doing like, I don't need to do drugs, like I don't need to go out drinking, like I don't need to go partying. She's like takes great care of herself. Like there's like one point where she like meets a guy, you know, but like I feel like for the most part, like it stayed just very like concentrated like on her career, like of her just climbing, you know. And I feel like that it's such a weird thing to where they hate each other, and they hate like the image, like the self-hatred is so incredible, like where they disconnect each other, you know. She disconnects herself, and that she hates her, you know. She hates her younger self that she was able to go out there because she's not her, you know. It's so weird, you know. Like it's sad, and it's
Even
very
though they are,
pathetic.
like the thing says, they are.
Yeah, you are one,
Yeah.
which is, yeah. The I just love the aesthetic as well, like just with the animator, just in between scenes, the transitions of the slides, where like the Monstro, Elisa Sue, No Exceptions, Sue, Remember You Are One, like all of that stuff. The phone calls I love. It's very spooky and off-putting. It's great. Describe for everyone the final boss, the last transformation.
So it was a interesting concept. I was kind of curious to. I thought the movie was going to end right there. I didn't even check to see like if there was more time or what. But like I honestly thought as she went to like the younger version after killing the older version, because the older version wanted to terminate the younger version, but had like a little epiphany and knew that like she needed her so she can like have her like admiration.
Oh gosh, she was such a gross little fucking like goblin witch. She's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Weird, floppy, saggy ass.
Yeah.
Ugh. And the bone
Everything
crunching.
was just so fucking raunchy.
Oh, even before that final transformation, when she was getting up and she was like cracking her fucking knees. Oh god.
I made a joke about her having a furled finger whenever the first encounter happened. She had like one day over, then the younger one had one day over that she shouldn't have had. Like it's interesting seeing like the rot, I guess is what you call it, or like the decay of her own body.
Yep.
Whenever like one spends too long without the other, even though like the older one will be just fine if she just like ignores the younger one.
Yep.
I assume. But yeah, like throughout the movie you like see the progressive like decay. Like it starts with her hand moving up her arm, and then like it's a whole like half side of her body until it becomes all of her, and like she has like 3 strands of hair, like you said, gross like foot long sagging tits that are like just not even touching her body whatsoever.
She's got
And
this
just
insane
bone crunching, just
hunchback.
like
She's
yeah,
naked.
it's interesting too, like watching them like fight. Like they both, like honestly, I was surprised they both had that much energy to like do that much damage to each other. But obviously, the younger one came out on top, like fighting the hunchback. But after like the little epiphany she had, like the older one trying to terminate the other one, like I said, she like thought of her own vanity and like her own youth, and like actually realized, I do need you. That way, I can have that admiration, and was able to resuscitate her, which left me kind of with a couple of questions, like how they were both able to be coherent.
Yeah, when they
So at
are
that
one.
moment, I realized like they split in two. They did split in two.
Yeah.
They were both the same person, but they were different now.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we had our little like fight scene, and like young beats old, and then the young, obviously too late, compared to the old, realizes, I need you too, obviously, or else I'm gonna fucking die. Not because like she loves her or anything. Does the same damn thing. She gets the substance, and this is where I thought like the movie was gonna end. I thought she was gonna die. I thought there was gonna be no copy, but I loved how they like played this out. Because like somewhere along the way, like you can make a copy of a copy of a copy. Like the best example I can come up with is like the Bible, but like shit's gonna be fucked up along the way, and obviously there's
Lost
not
in
gonna be like
translation.
connections that are yeah, basically like there's not gonna be solid connections to build like another like exact copy. So that's how we get this gross minging looking a thing, like Evil Dead monstrosity with like
Dead
4
eye.
boobs and like 8 arms, 2 heads,
It's got
and
a
a
face
fucking
on
head
the back.
Like,
Yeah, it's just got. You know, it's a really interesting point because it's like Sue was decaying more on the inside first, you know, because she didn't have the spinal fluid, you know, stuff. So she looked like she was all there, but like she needed the spinal fluid stuff, you know, to get through. But the one part that made me just want to chime in there is when she goes into there and she like tries to suck out a little bit more spinal fluid stuff, and it's just like comes out as like a green, like a gray gargle, and it's just like empty. It's like, ugh, fuck, dude, it's gross. It's so gross.
Yeah. I had to pause it for that too. Yeah.
Man, with Sue's teeth falling out as well, I hate it.
So building on top of that, like before she became the hunchback, I noticed this at the beginning. It was kind of interesting. Like, I don't know if you really thought of it like this too. Whenever she's like collecting the jars full of the gunk, that way she can have a while to herself. I think it was like 3 months. In the beginning, like where we saw the CEO or the network producer eating lunch, we saw the fly in the wine, and it was over consuming. Like it may have fell in there or whatnot, but like it was having too much substance, and then it stopped moving. And it died.
Wow, that's a really
that
good.
Was kind of like a perfect analogy at the beginning of the movie. I didn't even think about.
Yeah, that's
until like the end. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I did not think about that either. Nice catch, dude.
But yeah, but like it's cool. Like it's interesting watching the decay and the progress of like one who's still like youthful and beautiful, and obviously, like you said, rotting from the inside, while the other is just rotting from the outside. Also a very cool and interesting concept. But back to the Thing. What were your thoughts on the Thing? Like that, obviously, like I thought it was funny. Like as like,
it was hilarious. It's just like the breathing, the difficulty breathing, the vanity they just planted the face on herself. Also, it was so fucking funny when Elizabeth was back in control at the very end. She decided to pull out her gigantic like poster like board of herself to put it back in her living room. I'm like, you fucking vain ass bitch. Like, Jesus. You know? When she dragged in her living room, I was like, Jesus Christ. Just pretty funny.
I was personally a fan, like leading up to like her having to like go perform her like New Year's show, like her like taping like her picture on her face, and like her imagining like one last time that everyone was like there for her, not for her younger self.
Yep.
I thought that was quite hysterical. And then like we come to a realization she's imagining all that, and there's like no one there in the hallway, and then she like realizes, I think at that point she is alone. Still like goes out on stage because she can't beat her own vanity.
Yeah, it's a disgusting movie. It's gross, but I love it. I really do like it. It is a banger. I liked it a lot more than I thought. I thought the ending was kind of fell flattish, but I still loved it a lot. You know, I think I maybe had a higher expectation for it, and I didn't expect that. But it was insane what was delivered.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting everyone in the crowd the second like she's on stage to like scream monster and like kill her, shoot her, like all that. Like that was wild. But I'm not really sure what year like the movie takes place, but I don't know. Very, very funny take, and then like everyone just like swarming her and like beating the crap out of her and shoving her around.
Yeah. Was it towards the end when she's walking down the street, she just like bursts?
Yeah, like a pimple.
Oh yeah,
she pops.
Did she fall and fell? Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, like a bloater.
Yep, and then what was left was like a little face on her back that was actually like Elizabeth's face, that was like a little nub just kind of crawling.
The last part of her, really. Yeah.
And died on the her Star of Fame or whatever, on the Walk of Fame, whatever the fuck that is. Funny stuff, dude. Funny stuff. But we should probably get down to a rating, unless there's anything specifically you wanted to mention.
I kind of wish like they would have gotten into like where the substance comes from.
Yeah, me too.
Like who was behind it or what. It was interesting how she like got. We didn't really talk about it that much, but like how she got the substance was from like a person who used the substance as well at the hospital, like realizing that she had a plight with her own image.
Yeah.
She got the USB or whatever, like a little thumb drive to tell her like how, where to go and do what. But I love like the moral decay that she has in between, like getting it from that guy and then seeing like that guy, like the real version of that guy in the diner, and you see him like he's all gross and decrepit. Not like her, but like he is gross, decrepit, and old, but like still intact.
Mm-hmm. And he's just like, yeah, you just hate.
I love like the slow. Yeah,
it's pretty funny. Well, like it's not, but it is though.
No, it is. Yeah.
But
yeah, I think we're about ready for a rating.
I want to give it probably an 8. I really liked it a lot, but it's got a little things that make me think like, what the fuck, you know? So I'm gonna give it 8. Actually 8.5. 8.5. 0.5.
I'll probably have to give it an 8. Just because like the beginning was kind of gross with like the CEO eating and whatnot. I was not really a fan of the egg scene either. That kind of gave me a little bit of chills.
Yeah.
But
the way they film
I did it. I really enjoyed the middle and the end. Like I thought like that was like the ending was goofy, and like you said, it kind of like spun off into like a wild ride, but like everything in the middle was just like perfect. I thought it was amazing. It kept my attention, especially for like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, I think
like, so. That's a long duration to go through. Like
it was a long
all this
movie.
like a yeah, like that's a long time to feel tense and like keep your attention. Like it really is. But I will say I'm glad I did watch it. I am quite a huge fan. It is a mountain to climb over that beginning, but it is really worth it.
Yeah, I didn't have as much trouble with the beginning, thankfully. It just kind of fell naturally for me and stuff. I for one, I kind of like the just the style it was filmed in was really interesting and engaging, and kind of kept my attention too. I thought it was pretty cool. So we're gonna round up as we usually do on the Foundry when we do our movie review. So that's gonna be an official 8.5 here. So if you guys want to check out the movie, you know, while I give it a watch, let us know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, or let us know your original thoughts on it as well. But if you guys have any more horror movie recommendations, don't forget to drop them in the comments too. But we'll be seeing you later on the next Foundry review. But until then, bye guys.
Bye.